So please let me know if everyone can hear. So I guess everyone can hear. If anyone is facing any problems, so they can check from their end, probably their internet connectivity. And in between, if anyone faces any problems, so they can take help of the chat window. So let me start. So just to give an introduction of myself, I am Shamik, and I have around 8+ years of experience in data science field and SAS, and I've been working in one of the top MNCs in India. So for SAS, so this is the introductory session for SAS. So in this session, we'll basically give an idea of what SAS is and how you can develop your career prospect in SAS field, and what are the basic things that one needs to know before they can enter in SAS area, or from where they should start their learning if they want to learn SAS. So in this session, we'll basically talk about, as you can see in the screen, so we'll basically talk about what is SAS, and what can be the various future options or career options in SAS, and what are the opportunities, and some basic idea of SAS interface and SAS tool. So now, what is SAS? SAS, it's an acronym. So the two people refer SAS as a statistical analytical system. So the history of SAS is it started in long back in around 1970s. So it was basically started in North Carolina University. So it was basically developed in order to do statistical analysis, and it became very popular over the years, and it started getting adopted in various industries such as finance, especially finance, pharmaceutical industry, and and slowly they started building various kinds of packages and tools around SAS. So when we talk about SAS, it is not just one tool or one technology. SAS, it's basically they have various kinds of tools which we call SAS product suite. So under that product, there are various kinds of tools. So one part of it is statistical analysis. There are various tools which they use for business intelligence, for visual analytics, or visualization, and for various other purposes. So it has been more than 40-50 years they have been in the industry, and still they lead the analytics and business intelligence area. So we'll go to, just to give you an idea where SAS is used in the industry, just to give you an idea how extensively it is used in various industries. So especially in the pharmaceutical industry, so especially in the clinical data, so in the pharmaceutical industry, when they develop new drugs, so they have to do extensive analysis on how a particular formulation or drug will be effective in preventing or curing a disease. So for that, they have extensive data analysis activity. So especially in the clinical, so and SAS has various kinds of customized packages for that analysis. So especially in the clinical research field, SAS is extensively used and the most dominant player. Also in the financial and banking services, so we have SAS. Now mainly SAS is used because of its very high-end security, because we know in financial services, they require very high-end security for the data security. So, and SAS takes care of that very well. So especially in financial industries, for various kind of reporting and forecasting and data mining techniques, they use SAS. And since SAS has been in the industry for quite a long time, so various kinds of financial industries, they have been using SAS, and all their systems has been built especially the statistical and data mining systems have been built around SAS. So until now, most of the top financial institutes still use SAS. Now in the retail areas, also SAS is used. Probably not as extensive as it is used in the pharmaceutical and financial industries, but yes, in the retail area also SAS is used. Now we have other also various kinds of players which are entering into analytics and BI space. So and since SAS has all kinds of tools, so it is also used in the retail industry. Similarly, for telecom industry, it is used. So this is just to give you an idea of the spectrum of domain where SAS is currently being used. Okay, so let's now go into, so probably many of you are new to this area. So this will give you an understanding of various kinds. So probably a lot of you are wondering, so what are roles we can get using SAS if we learn SAS. So this is just to, we have designed this just to give an idea of what are the various kinds of roles you might beg while if you have understanding of SAS and command over it. So there are various kinds of whole lot of career options, opportunities that do exist in SAS. So one of the area is business analyst, and then risk analyst. Obviously, we talked about the pharmaceutical industry. So there's clinical statistician. There's huge demand of statisticians who are well equipped with SAS knowledge in the clinical trial area. Also, apart from the classical, statistical roles in the data warehousing space, also there's a requirement. There are a lot of requirement in the SAS area. So, as I told earlier, SAS is not just one tool which is used in statistical areas. So, there are various kinds of SAS tools available, which can be used in different, different phases of your data warehousing or any kinds of data analytics need that industry might have. Also, we have seen in the current market that in the financial sectors, there's a lot of opportunity in SAS area. So this is what I was talking about. So this is very important. So I want all of you to listen to it very carefully. So this is basically the whole SAS products. So they have base SAS. Base SAS is basically the basic SAS tool that is used, and it has SAS data analysis and statistical functionalities. Then we have SAS BI, so it's basically business intelligence tools. So they have, for various kinds of purposes, they have different customized tools. And then we have SAS Enterprise Guide, SAS Enterprise Miner. So these are basically, to give you an idea, SAS Enterprise Miner is a tool which will not require much of a coding activity. So it's basically a visualized, uses a drag and drop type analytical tool, and it is, although its license is very expensive, but it is used by people who do not have much coding experience, but people who are aware with the statistical data analysis techniques. So directly the business users can make use of SAS Enterprise Miner and do their analysis in that. And then there's something called SAS JMP, which is called SAS JMP. So it's basically similar to Enterprise Miner and Enterprise Guide. Also, it has visualization capabilities. Then there is SAS Visual Analytics. So now all these tools that I mentioned is basically a license tool. So to get the license, there's a hefty amount to pay, because SAS is not a very cheap tool. So for that we have various kinds of open software, but SAS the licensing cost runs pretty high. So that is the reason now, since you are a student or you want to foray into SAS area, so how do you make use of that? So for that, SAS has released SAS University Edition. So it's basically a free SAS software. It's made available to students and professors so that they can teach and practice SAS on their own machines. So they don't have to buy costly licenses. So what is the flip side? So SAS University Edition is basically it's a free version. So it gives you a basic capability of coding in SAS language, coding, debugging, but it doesn't have the enhanced capabilities of all the aforementioned SAS tools. And I've given the SAS University download link, so it's in the SAS site, so you can download it. Also, we'll give you the instructions to how to download and install it in your system after the end of the class. Let me know if anyone has any particular questions on that, so they can simultaneously type in the chat area. So I'll have a look at it and try to answer it. Okay. And this is just to give you an idea of how the SAS interface looks like. So this is basically base SAS. So we were talking about different kinds of SAS products. So this one is base SAS interface. So the base SAS interface has an editor window, which is basically for your coding purpose. So this is where you write all the SAS code. And the log window is basically for the debugging purpose. It gives all the, when you run any code, so it will give you basically the steps of your code run, and you can debug your code from that window. And this window explorer is basically, SAS has its own libraries and where it stores SAS data sets. So SAS tables are called SAS data sets. So SAS window is SAS explorer window is basically a place where all your data sets will be kept. Okay. So this class is basically an introduction to SAS. Just to it will not dwell much deep into the coding aspect of it. So it will give an overall idea, to give an idea of what SAS is and what are its capabilities. So in terms of data analytics performance, the speed and the performance level of the tool, this is one of the top tools used in the industry today. And in terms of data processing power, it is very highly, the performance is very high. So millions of data, the data processing done in a fraction of seconds. So if because it has its own architecture, so it uses its own data structure, and for the processing it uses its own library. So for that, the data processing is very high. So places where you have very high volume of data, so all the big data, so now there's a terminology big data. So in SAS, the architecture is designed in such a manner that it is capable of handling very high, very huge amount of data. So the basic architecture of SAS, I'll just give you a basic architecture of SAS, how it functions. So you can see the left side, we have the data access. So the data can be in Teradata, or it can be in Oracle, or it can be MS Access. So there are different kinds of databases for the industry uses. Or you can have, SAS can have its own data warehouse. And SAS interface is capable of connecting to all these databases. Say, for example, you have data in Teradata. Now, SAS tool is placed on top of it. It pulls the data from the database, and it does its processing and produces output. Now, two steps are basically, the entire SAS steps procedures can be divided into two simple steps. It's called the data step and the proc step. So now what is data step? When you do any kind of data manipulation, so that is called the data step. In SAS, that is called the data step. Suppose you want to transform the data, you want to join the data, you want to merge the data, you want to change column names, variable names, or you want to do any kind of treatment on the data. So that is called the data step. So this is one part of SAS programming. And the other part is the proc step. So proc is basically a short form for procedure. Now once we prepare, manipulate the data and make it analysis ready. Now if we want to do any kind of statistical analysis on top of it, then we use proc step. So in SAS you have to remember that there are two basic things, data step and proc step. And then for analysis and presentation, so as I was telling earlier, there are different kinds of tools available. So in base SAS also there is a visualization possible, but it is of very basic. The visualization is very basic. For visualization, you can use SAS, visual analytics, or SAS Enterprise Minor, or if you have SAS Enterprise Guide, the visualization part is taken care of. Now, in our class, we'll be teaching basically base SAS because it is the basic of your SAS language. If you want to do any kind of programming in SAS, so the base SAS knowledge is most essential. So we'll discuss and teach you the base SAS, and then slowly you can graduate into other kinds of tools. Okay, so I see a few questions here. SAS suite is used in which industry most? So I think I covered it before, so I'll repeat it again. So in SAS, basically it is used in all kinds of industries, but if we have to pick which are the industries where SAS is extensively used, it is used in the pharmacy and financial, all insurance and banking industries. So mainly in finance and pharmaceutical industries, the trend is very high because SAS has been prevalent in this industry for a long time. Although in all other industries also, in telecom, retail, supply chain, SAS is used. But if we have to pick which all industries SAS is extensively used, so I would say that in healthcare, pharmaceutical, and financial sectors, the demand of SAS, the people knowledgeable in SAS are very high in demand. So in mainframe, so there's another question, if SAS can be used in mainframe COBOL. So SAS is designed to pull data from various kinds of data sets for mainframe also, but for mainframe there will be an interface where mainframe data will be converted to SAS readable data. So like in Teradata, directly SAS can be used, but in mainframe there has to be an interface where the mainframe data is converted into SAS readable data format. Okay, so what does proc step include? So what I am in today's class, what I am giving you is introduction to SAS. So all these data steps, proc step will be extensively covered with examples in our next classes. So just to give you an idea, what is proc step? So proc step is basically a procedure. So if you have to, it's just an acronym for procedure. Now, if you have to do, just to give you a simple example, if you have to do, so we'll also cover that in our subsequent slides. So if you have to say what does procedure do, is basically to do any sort of analysis on the data. Say for example, you have a column which says salary, and now you want to calculate the standard deviation, mean, median, mode of the salary. Now proc step is used because we want to do a sort of analysis on the column. So any kind of analysis is done using proc step. A data step is basically for data manipulation purpose. So if you want to join tables, you want to transform variables, you want to basically do missing values treatment. So all these kinds of things are done in data steps. We'll also cover a little bit of details of data step and proc step in the subsequent slides. So I'll just take a pause here. So we'll take a 5 minutes break here, and we're going to send you a link where you can send your feedback. And after 5-7 minutes, we're going to come again. And if you have any question in between, also you can park your questions on the feedback area, and we're going to discuss more on data step and proc step. Sajid, is that fine with you? Hello, Sajid, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, Omega, I can hear you.
Okay, so we are going to take a 5 minutes break here, and so we will send the feedback form to our students, so they can come up with the feedback and any question if they have, and we'll continue after 5 minutes. Fine?
Fine.
Okay.
Hi everyone. There are 2 points, okay, that I would like to point out. Okay, first of all, like after this session, okay, we'll share you some documents. Okay, am I audible to everyone? Hello, am I audible?
Hello.
Yeah, you can speak out if you want.
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Yeah,
Yes,
perfect.
yes, you're audible.
Yeah, to other people. Okay, fine, fine, Naresh, thanks. So yeah, what I was saying is like we'll be sharing the documents that for the things which we are discussing now. Okay, that will help you go through the session. Okay, and we are recording this session. Okay, and you can even
So we were discussing SAS data step and proc step, which is basically two building blocks for SAS coding standards. And we'll just go into a little bit of details into SAS data step and proc step. So this is just to give an idea, since it is an introductory class. So it's just to give you an idea. So once we have the SAS University Edition installed in everyone's machine, so the hands-on sessions will start from the next class onwards. So also you can type your questions in the chat window. So if anyone has joined a little late, So if they have any questions, so they can type your questions in the chat window. So I'll try to answer them as much as possible. And if anyone has any question regarding SAS, what are the career options in SAS or any other thing related to SAS, so they can just type in their query. So, okay, so SAS program, as I said, it contains data step and proc step. So now what does the data step contain? It's basically just to, in layman's terms, is just used to modify SAS data sets. So that you just want to do any kinds of manipulation in the SAS data set. We can do that with using data step. Now, in other databases, we call tables, but in SAS, it is called data sets. Few things that data steps can perform is basically you can use data steps to enter data into SAS data set. So basically, it's like from the interface, you can directly enter your new values or rows or columns in the existing SAS data set, and you can use to calculate simple things using SAS data set like sum, like that use SAS data set, and also you can, as I said earlier, you can merge, join two different data sets and using SAS data sets. And in proc step, basically do any kinds of analysis in the proc step. So one additional thing in the proc step, you can also produce results and reports using your proc step. So whatever analysis you do, you have to you print the output into a report format. So procedure, there are different kinds of SAS procs which are used to print the output in a report format. So this is a simple SAS program to give you an idea of how the data step and proc step looks like. So you have top program is basically data step. So you have this SAS data set. So I'll talk about the syntax later. So this class is, as I said, this class is only to give you an idea. So I'll talk about each of the syntax later. So that way you can make your understanding solid. So this one is basically, you can see here, we are preparing a simple SAS data set. So the syntax is data and your data set name, and then using you're basically building two columns using X1 and X2. Okay, I see a lot of people are not able to see the screen. Okay, let me share it again. So are you able to see my screen here? So it says first SAS program. Okay, so there seems some problem with the let me just refresh it once.
But I'm able to see the screen. I guess there's an internet issue from your end, guys. Srinivas and all. Just refresh it once.
Okay, I guess people should be able to see the screen now. Okay, so let me, I'll again repeat that in our next session. So this is just to give you an idea of how data step and proc step looks like. Okay, fine. So this is a simple data set or table you can see we're creating in SAS. So this is the syntax is data and your table name, so data set name. and using x1 and x2 variables, we are basically creating a simple table here. So we are giving assigning 1 to x1 column and assigning 3 to x2 column. And you can see y equal to x1 plus x2. So basically we're creating one more column here, which is basically y. So in this data set, you have 3 columns, x1, x2, and y. Okay, people who are not talking, I mean, they can put this one on mute. Yeah. Okay, so you have the data step here, and in the proc step, basically what you're doing is just simple proc step. It is just printing the data set here. So this is called a procedure. You want to do any kind of analysis, or you want to generate a report, so that you can use using proc step. Okay, guys. So just this session was just to give you an idea of what is SAS and which all areas it is used, and basically just to give you an idea of how the basic building blocks of SAS is used. So once I will share the installation guide with you. So once you have SAS University Edition installed, so we'll start the hands-on session from the next session. So in between on SAS career opportunities or any other thing, if you have any question, you can just type in the query. So we'll take next 5-10 minutes to answer your queries. Okay, so career options in SAS. So if you are SAS certified, or you simply you have experience in SAS, so best career option would be in the financial sectors and healthcare sectors. So in the finance sectors, it can be insurance sector, or it can be your banking sector. And because in the banking sector, there's a lot of profiles which involve risk analyst, and also there is a lot of statistical models that goes into calculating the credit risk, and also in the insurance sector also we have the insurance sector is mostly involved in calculating the credit rating of individuals or organizations. So in those areas, SAS is extensively used. So we have seen in the current market, so there's a lot of demand in the finance sectors in SAS, and the pay scale is also pretty high compared to other skill sets that we have in the market. And also in the pharmaceutical sector, healthcare sector, in my career, so I have worked on healthcare sector for quite a long time. So predominantly SAS is used in healthcare, be it healthcare marketing, be it healthcare clinical trial, or various kinds of analysis. So most of the top US healthcare companies, their database is also in SAS. So they use SAS extensively. So in the healthcare area, there's a lot of opportunities for people who are knowledgeable in SAS. So coming to the popularity, so I see one query here: is SAS popular as R and Python? So before SAS is a very, it has been existing in the market for quite a long time. So earlier there used to be in the 1990s, for any kind of statistical analysis, all the organizations, they use SAS and SPSS. Slowly we have other players who are coming in the market. Also they are open source. A lot of open source players like R and Python. So these are also becoming very popular, and since because of a large community base, there's a lot of help available online for R and Python. So it's also catching up. So if you see, if you compare, so SAS, R and Python, so both have its own advantages and disadvantages. They cannot buy SAS because it's an expensive affair. So they also use R and Python. In terms of capability, I would not say anyone as superior, because all of the software, SAS, R, and Python has their own, functionalities and their own advantages and disadvantages. But if you have to talk only about SAS, I would say in big organizations where the organizations where for any kind of budgeting is not a problem for them. So in those kind of organizations, SAS is used. Also, R and Python are also used. So say, for example, there are many capabilities now R and Python have, which SAS do not have. So in such cases, people are also using R and Python. Okay. Okay, so machine learning, yes, SAS, it has extensive capabilities in all kinds of analytics. So in kinds of machine learning, so in SAS Enterprise Guide and Enterprise Miners, there are customized packages for machine learning. So SAS is also coming up with new version every alternate year. So as their latest versions have a very good machine learning capability. Okay, so I'm not sharing anything on the screen here, so I'm just taking the queries here, so that's the reason why you're not able to see the screen. So for deep learning, yes, as I said, from all machine learning, deep learning, SAS is coming up with new. Okay, are you able to hear me, everyone? So I see someone says the audio went off. Okay, fine. So all this machine learning, deep learning techniques, they are used in SAS extensively. So now in the latest version of SAS Enterprise Guide, so they have included integration with R. So in SAS, now you can code in R language also. So if you know, suppose you are a R person, and you are in organization where they use SAS. So SAS has come up with the capabilities that you can code in R also in SAS. So there is separate functionality in that where you can code in R. Okay. So that is pretty much about the introductory session of SAS. And in the next session, once you have the SAS University Edition installed, we'll go into details into the programming and various details of SAS programming. And we'll also cover a lot of case studies where you will be able to understand how SAS is used in the industry today. Over to you, Sajid.
Yeah.
Sajid, can you hear me?
Yeah, Samik. Thanks a lot. Okay, for this wonderful session.
So Sajid, I see one question here. So about the